Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sunique. Welcome here if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before, and I'm so very grateful for your support, so thank you for that. And today I have a Kickstarter, and the way this was wrapped was amazing. So it came in a plastic outer bag, and then this bag here came in this amazing bubble wrap. So protected and so appreciated. So what is it? It is, I haven't even opened it yet, so I've just opened the top, so we'll take it out together. So it is, let's have a look. It's Pixie's Marseilles Tarot. Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah, I've got it in a pouch as well. Oh gosh, a velvety pouch. Oh, this is so nice. This is embossed. Oh, that is gorgeous. The colour is gorgeous. It goes with the book. So this is an amalgamation of the Marseilles and the Rider-Waite-Smith, but in the style of Pixie, which is Pamela Coleman Smith, for those that don't know. So there may be people who are new to tarot here, I'm not so sure, but maybe there are, and I thought I'd just explain that a little bit. And what I intend to do as I open this is compare it with those two decks. So what I have here is this one from Taschen, and this is a facsimile of the original 1909 edition of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Lovely box. I have shown the Taschen. I haven't really used this version, I don't really intend to, apart from reference, because I think what will happen, as is what happens with most decks, is as you use them they get thicker with the oils and everything from your hands, and so I don't think it's a good idea when it's something that's this precious. Okay, so this is the original sort of line work, and then I've got here the debris edition of the Tarot of Marseille, which confuses me a little bit, I must admit, because it says in the guidebook it's based on tarot interpretations of Arthur Edward Waite, who was the author of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So does it have true Marseille meanings? Because they are a little bit different, and even the order's a little bit different. The Fool is always at the end of the deck in a Marseille. So those are the two decks that this deck is based on. Immediately you can see they're going in different directions, these Fools. So I wonder how Alejandro Rozan has amalgamated those. Now another deck that I've got, before we go further, that I have shown on my channel before, that's an amalgamation of the two decks, is this one. It's called the Real Old Tarot, which I love this deck, and it's as if it's an old family heirloom, so it's got like bent cards. They're not, they're just made to look that way. Yeah, dirty cards if you like. But this is really nice. This is grandpa for the Fool. But on this one, see, the Fool is going in a different direction. So I think there are different versions of the Marseille as well, but here you can see, if I put these two together, I think I'm not sure if I did this when I went through this deck, I might have done, but yeah, you can see, hopefully, how this artist has amalgamated the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Marseille together. So more apparent in the minors. So if we go to the minors, where are we on? 8 of Swords there. So if we find the 8 of Swords. So they haven't in this deck put the pips in the way that they do in the Marseille. More like the way that they do in the Rider-Waite-Smith, as you can see. Whereas like it's a pattern, isn't it, in the Marseille? If you know the Marseille, then you'll know it's a pattern. So if you want to see a walkthrough of that, I'll link it below. Beautiful backs on the debris. and we'll take a look at what I got in my Kickstarter. So there's a book. Let's pull out. Oh, that's nice. It's got the pattern that you would get on some of the, it's called the Lilies and the Roses, that you get on the back of some of the earlier versions of the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's got the crackle version on the Taschen version. But you will see this pattern, so that's nice. They've replicated that. 178 pages as a bibliography. The contents, their introduction to the tarot themselves, and then we've got the major arcana and the minors, final words and a bibliography, as well as how to read this deck. So here's the introduction. How Tarot Found Me, Tarot de Marseille, a first imprint. Also, I went to a tarot museum in Paris last year, which was really exciting. I really enjoyed that. I see some really early decks there. See, instead of the tower, it's the House of God. So 2 ways of looking at tarot. So presumably the difference between the 2 decks is talked about here. The first bridge, the Rider Marseille tarot deck. This is another deck. It's the Rider Marseille tarot deck 2024. So I can see how they've, here look in the pips, they've married the way it's displayed in a Marseille deck with the swords, and then they've got the Rider-Waite-Smith in the background there. And also in some decks, like the I1JJ Swiss, Juno and Jupiter are there. Brief history of Rider-Waite-Smith. I've seen that in person. That is in the Tates and Ives. Yeah. And in St Ives. So I'm going to really enjoy reading this background here. How to approach the deck, there's Pamela's signature. The heart of the deck. What is not seen at first glance. And then into the cards. So the direction of the fall is the same, but we have the differences here between the 2. This is more Rider-Waite-Smith than Marseille. Although we do have the ripped trousers there. That'd be interesting. Keywords, basic meanings. Okay. So quite a bit of information for the majors. And then the minors, just a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit. Which is the same in all Marseille decks, isn't it? There's very little information on the minor cards. It's a lovely hardback book. What's it say on the back? A bit difficult to read, actually. Pixie's Marseille Tarot was born out of a particular curiosity. What might a Tarot de Marseille look like through the artistic vision of Pamela Pixie Coleman-Smith? Well, with this in mind, Alejandro Arza created a deck that preserves the structure of the Tarot de Marseille while embracing Pixie's graphic sensibility and visual language. This companion guide, part art book, part symbolic exploration, provides reflections on the cards, their imagery, their hidden connections, as well as the creative process behind the deck. Rather than presenting fixed meanings, it invites the reader into a more intuitive and open dialogue with the tarot, where symbols echo, transform and speak across the entire deck. So Alejandro is a Cuban visual artist and illustrator known for his reinterpretations of historical tarot traditions through a contemporary artistic lens. His published works include Tarot des I've got that, Tarot des Ambiguities. In fact, I've done a walkthrough of that. The Rider Marseille Tarot deck, which is the one that was illustrated that I was looking at in the book. And Medieval Feathers Tarot. How interesting. So this isn't the first time he's attempted this. I got myself the cloth. Of course I did. Oh, I'm not going to be able to fit this on screen, so I'll show you in 4/4. Oh wow. It's got crease slightly there. It's just the nap, I think. That's fine. Yeah, it's quite velvety. That's the back. It's lined. We've got angels. We've got an angel holding a disc. We've got an angel holding a cup. And there's the wand with the angel underneath. Oh, that is beautiful. So how many angels do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one wielding the sword. That is absolutely gorgeous. Whoa. I think I might leave that there while we look at the deck. And then this velvet pouch. Let's take the plastic off the box. Oh, that's raised. Oh, that lettering there is raised. You can tell from that. And on the side. Oh, this is beautiful. So we've got the roses and lilies again. This is very dark and very difficult to see. Pixie's Marseille Tarot was born from a single artistic question: what might a Tarot de Marseille look like through the vision of Pamela Pixie Coleman-Smith? Guided by this inquiry, tarot artist Alejandro Arrozan has created a deck that honours the structure of the Tarot de Marseille while embracing Pixie's graphic sensibility and visual language. It's one of my favourite types of box with the magnet. I really like this. So on the inside of the box it says, Pamela Coleman-Smith's signature appears in this deck as a symbolic homage to her artistic legacy. It is not intended to indicate authorship or impersonation. And there's the signature, and also there. So let's take a look at the cards. It's the inside of the box. I do like the colourway, even though it's difficult for me to actually see properly, but I do like it. And we've got this sort of bluish edge in here as well that goes alongside. Oh my, it does look dirty, just like it's been worn in. You know, like, not as bad as this one, I suppose, but even so, made to look aged. When you put it alongside this debris version that's been very cleaned up, it's very noticeable. And then this, the facsimile of the original, is still lighter than the way this one has been rendered. It's interesting. Let's look at them all together and how they've been interpreted. Got the satchel that we get in the Rider-Waite-Smith. We get the breeches that we get in the Marseille. Well, this fall anyway is more Rider-Waite-Smith than it is Marseille, I would say. Yeah, the mountains and everything. It's just that it has been reversed. We've got the satchel there. Yeah, the tools, very much like the Rider-Waite-Smith here, but the hat is very much, and the stance actually is very Marseille, isn't it? So if you are someone that comes from either tradition, I think this is a great gateway between them. Oh, we've gone to Juno, so like the 1JJ Swiss. And Jupiter. Yeah, so in the 1JJ Swiss, we don't have a High Priestess, we have Juno instead. This may not have been the right deck to choose, because in the Marseilles, the Popess is the High Priestess. In the Debris version, they've gone back to the High Priestess. Okay, I've just located the 1JJ Swiss tarot cards here. Now these won't really align with the Marseilles as such. Just to show you, they're written in French, and then we have, for the High Priestess, Juno, which is Juno, and then for the Hierophant we have Jupiter. Yes. But in looking for that, I've got loads of Marseille decks. So instead of this one, because I think it's not going to align very well for what I want to show going through it. And rather than start all over again, I'm going to find another Marseille deck to compare it to. So I've got this little Los Carabeo one that I've never opened, but it looks like the line work is pretty thick, so I might not use that. Well, what I was thinking is using Yof Ben Dov's version of the Tarot de Marseille. This is US Games version. And there's a really good book that goes along with this, so if ever you want to study the Tarot de Marseille, highly recommend this one. It does have a little white book of its own. Okay, let's try again. So as I said, the 4 is always at the back. I won't comment on this one. Of the majors. So let's find it. So we can, there we go, do them in order. If they're in order. Okay. I think we can see then a little clearer. Scooch them over a bit. The difference is, okay. There are a lot of Tarot de Marseille decks on the market, and of course they're all personal preference. I do have a lot of old ones, some that I bought in Paris, some that I bought since, so I've got a fair amount to choose from. Back to the video, I feel like I'm fumbling about here, I do apologise. Very hot as usual, anyway. Yeah, so the little white dog is much like the little white dog on the Rider-Waite-Smith, not so much like this animal here on the Tarot de Marseille. And as you can see, it is in French, Le Mans, as opposed to the Fool. Like I said, very much the stance and the viewpoint of the Tarot de Marseille, and then incorporating aspects of the Rider-Waite-Smith there. And then we got to the Popess. Is La Papesse in French, and High Priestess here in the English version. I love the waterfall here, that's really nice. But the book doesn't say Torah. The head cape here at the back, that's nice. I'm going to like this deck, I know I am. Okay, so Juno and Jupiter is, I showed you from that 1JJ Swiss where that came from. So there's Juno, but here we have the Empress. Yeah, there's lots of motifs, isn't there, from this one? And then we've got underneath this dress. Yeah. Oh, this has been done very well, hasn't it? Yeah, I like it. So we're going to read directionally with the Tarot de Marseille. Who's looking at who? Pointing at who? What's happening? Less so really in the Rider-Waite-Smith. He looks more approachable, doesn't he? And I've always thought this looks female. And you notice it's the Hierophant in the Rider-Waite-Smith as opposed to the Pope. And then we have Jupiter, I would say, instead of the Pope. With his lightning bolts. Don't displease him, he'll throw one at you. So yeah, we've got the 3 figures like we get in the Marseilles deck, as well as the angel. But the flames of the angel from the Rider-Waite-Smith. I'm so glad I bought this deck. I really am. Chariot. It's quite similar in all 3 cards really, isn't it? The Chariot. Justice. Because it's Marseille, the numbering is a little bit different. So Justice and Strength are reversed. Got the foot sticking out like we have in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Hermit. Always been one of my favourite cards is the Hermit. Goes back to Sunday school when I was a little girl. So Wheel of Fortune. Love it. Great. And then we have Strength. Again, different direction, isn't it? Look at all the flower banner from there. We still have the lemon skate hat. Oh, it's beautiful. I want to use this deck because it's such a value to me. Will I use it or will I use it for study? I don't want to damage this deck because it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The card shall be named. Only in the Rider-Waite-Smith is it named. But yeah, it's very Marseille, isn't it? I'm trying to find aspects from the Rider-Waite-Smith. Not really seeing any. Look at this temperance card. Gorgeous. Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, we have another temperance. So we've got 2 temperance cards. I suppose that's more like the Rider-Waite-Smith than this one. That may be why it's been included. So you do have a choice of which one to use. Oh, now then, we've got a very Marseille Devil. I was hoping there'd be a face on the belly, because that's the version that I prefer. Ah, we have. This is the version I prefer. I love this version with all the faces on the knees and the epaulets. I just much prefer this devil myself. I'm so happy they've included both, because this is my all-time favourite. What's leading us? I've got the chicken feet. The chicken feet. House of God. Oh, we've got an alternate card as well called the Lightning. So yeah, the older decks. There's a nod to the older decks here. It's a star. And the alternate star, yeah. Yeah, this is a nod to Minchiate, really, I think. Don't quote me. I am not an expert on these older decks. I'm just fascinated by them. That's a moon. And the sun. Oh, we've got the alternate moon as well with the distaff. I have these in older decks too. It's the Solar Twins. Judgment. And the World. Well, that major arcana is just stupendous. So good. Right, wands. This isn't wands. This is in a different order, wouldn't you know? Okay. Okay, the aces. So as you can see, it's a different sort of wand. It's more of a tree branch, isn't it? A club that you're going to hit somebody over the head with. This looks a lot more finesse. There's a 2. So we've got the battlements from the Rider-Waite-Smith, and then the lilies and the roses that we see here. That's cool. As you can see, the formation of the wands is the same as in the Marseilles. This is where a lot of people have trouble with Marseille, because it's like, how do I read that? So with this deck, you've got a clue. You've got the ships here, the same. Rider-Waite-Smith images in the background of the pattern of the wands, or the batons as they're called in the Marseille deck. Oh, these hands holding, that's really clever. I like that. So instead of putting those figures in the background, they've just put the hands there with the different coloured sleeves. That's really cool. Oh, we got the horse in the background of the 6. Still got that sideways side eye. We can really feel the defensiveness in this one. I'll have this on its side, just to show that they're going through the air, but the same formation. That's really clever. Just put it on its side like that. Still got the flower. I love the way this has been done. So glad for this deck. So glad. That even brings this to life, really, doesn't it? I've never noticed that before. But yeah, the way the pattern is actually there from here, and you can see it there. Clever. Okay, a page or valet. The knight or the cavalier. Queen with the cats and the sunflower. Holding that big baton. Oh, this is so good. The king. The salamander. Wow, and the flaming crown as well, even though we've still got the lemniscate hat. Okay, the Ace of Cups. Pixie's Marseille Tallow. Again, we've just got the arms, but we've also got the harvest. Lovely. Offering the cup. I mean, I must clarify that my preferred system is the Rider-Waite-Smith for reading for others. That's the main deck I use. And the Tarot de Marseille, I just haven't found my way into it, let's say that. Sorry about the dog outside, not mine. And I think I'll be able to study it a bit more using this deck here, and just get familiar with the way that the systems work from the patterns, and then hopefully be able to actually read with Tarot de Marseille if I get them in my brain, you know. I mean, I have got a few tarot decks that I've tried with, but not really had any success as yet. But then in saying that, I haven't done a massive study with them. I must admit I haven't. The studies that I've done normally have been sort of Thoth decks. I love Thoth. It was one of the first decks I ever bought was a Thoth deck. Serious deck was a Thoth deck. I think one of the first was the Osho Zen and the Robin Wood and the Rider-Waite-Smith and the 1JJ Swiss were the decks I had initially. But the 1JJ Swiss is beautiful. I just couldn't. I was like, how on earth you read with this deck? And I think there are so many like having the same experience that I had with a Marseille deck. that you just give up, you know, just I can't, because it's not as if there's a load of information, or there wasn't when I started, which was a long time ago. But you know, when you've just got that much little bit of information on the pip cards, it's like, what? It's just not really giving me a meaningful reading, you know. Whereas with this deck and picture decks, you can story time, can't you? Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I wouldn't mind having his other deck, but I don't know if it's actually available, the other Marseille Tarot deck, Marseille Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. I'd love to see it. But it looks to be more like the older versions. And this is very cleaned up as well, isn't it? To the sword suit. Very similar in all three decks, aren't they? The yods and the sword going through the crown. The wreaths. I was really interested to see how the Three of Swords would be depicted. Growth through heartbreak. That's how I see that card. Lessons learned. Oh wow, so they've got actually this part of the image here. They've included there. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Lovely. And the colours as well. Beautiful. This is just going to be such a great way for me to cross over system, to be able to read a Tarot de Marseille after all these years. Do you know how long I've been doing this? Since the first Thoth deck came out. Oh. So recently, the beginning of the year, I did some courses with the Tarot Association of the British Isles, and one of the lessons was on the Tarot de Marseille, and we had to do a reading using the Tarot de Marseille, and actually I read okay with it, and I didn't read it like a Rider-Waite-Smith. I read it intuitively and it worked, so I was absolutely amazed. So perhaps I'm just doing myself short, really. Maybe I should just bite the bullet. Oh, we're going in a different direction as both of these. Look at the flaming horse. Oh, wow, we've kept the faces on the epaulets there. Well, Queen. Yeah, it's the first one I've seen where the direction's been different to the Marseille. Because it's so important in the reading. I think give it a go and try and read a spread at the end of this, shall I? I don't know. Am I brave enough to do that? Maybe. Yeah, they've kept all the traditions of the Marseille in this deck, including the artist and the publisher. Oh, and the shield. That's been done brilliantly, hasn't it? When you know, I'll never see that without seeing the shield. It's the thing about visual art, isn't it? Once you've seen something that makes an impression, it's an impression that never leaves. Lily across the face there. Tree of life. The beauty at the centre. At Tippereth, the centre there. I mean, they all do come from the same background. There's just 3 different versions of Thoth, which is based on Jewish Kabbalism. I'm absolutely in love with this deck. I think it's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. Like I say, I have a couple of decks where both systems have been incorporated, but this is just something else. It is just perfection, in my opinion. Absolute perfection. Oh, isn't that wonderful? I'm going to give it a shuffle. And of course, it shuffles beautifully. I haven't taken the extra cards out, which I think was about 4, wasn't there? I think it was about 4. But I'm going to have a go at doing a reading. Okay. Just a 3-card reading. I might actually, I don't think I saw one in the book. Let's have a look. No, there's no card spreads in the book. That's okay. We'll do a 3-card reading. In fact, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my deck interview spread. Ah, that's what I'm going to do. So I have shared this before. This is the way I interview a deck. So the first question I ask is, what advice will help me to learn with this deck? So I'm looking for advice to help me to learn how to use this deck. Very slippy. Temperance. Well, isn't that a brilliant card? Temperance, where we're actually blending 2 different solutions in order to make a third. It couldn't be a more perfect answer, really, could it? Integrating those opposites. So we've got the Rider-Waite-Smith and we've got the Marseilles, and we're integrating them both together for self-improvement. What's it say in the actual book for temperance? I'll have a look, see what it says. And it just, keyword, balance, basic meanings, harmony, balance, moderation, integration, fluidity and healing. The rest of the information is about what's included on the card and why. So yeah, balancing those 2 systems in order to come up with a meaning. That was just a perfect answer, actually. Okay, how might you help me to grow as a reader, then? Is my second question. How might you help me grow as a reader? We've got another balance energy here with the 2 of Pentacles. It's keeping both sides of these decks, so the Marseille and the Rider-Waite-Smith, keeping them in balance. Again, it really reflects this card, doesn't it? So in the Marseille tradition, which I don't know, what does it say for the Two of Pentacles? There'll be coins, won't it, in Marseille? Duality, two options or two elements, collaborating while keeping distance, a winding road advancing in complex ways, recognition and acknowledgement. Inverse, similar. So you're going to help me grow as a reader by giving me two options to work with and collaborating with them. Not getting too involved. Yeah, recognising and acknowledging the two systems. That's what I get from that. And then here we've got sort of a Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation of adaptation, change, fluidity, flexibility and juggling. So pretty much like the Rider-Waite-Smith meaning there in Alejandro's book. Where am I likely to struggle whilst working with this deck? Where am I likely to struggle when I work with a deck? We've got another two, balance, another balance. There's a lot of balance going on here, isn't it? So I'm going to struggle in balancing with my love for both decks. That just looks really Rider-Waite-Smith to me. But I think coming to it on its own terms, rather than trying to force either meaning, but being able to blend those two cups together to come up with the meaning. Because I've struggled for a long time with this Marseille system. It's got its ups and downs, as you can see in the boats there. Fair wind and foul. But it is a road, you know, a journey. And yet there's going to be some obstacles along the way. But it's all a question of balance here, isn't it? 2 and 2. How can I fully tap into the energies of this deck? How can I fully tap into the energies of this deck? Oh, look at that. The 10 of Cups. Dance with it. Enjoy it. It's just... So in the Marseilles, leadership, a person with special qualities receives appreciation and high status, assuming responsibility for others, maintaining a superior vision. And here we've got the card of connection. So in order to connect with this deck, then I need superior vision. Yeah, so not just going back to tried and tested interpretations, but seeing it in a whole new light. I think that's what this is giving me here. A lot of balancing between the two. Maybe struggling to come with it on its own terms, or come to it on its own terms. What's the Two of Cups in the Marseille? So partnership, a romantic relationship or a close personal alliance, interpersonal dynamics based on social norms, passion in a love relationship which may turn against itself. So being passionate about it in the first instance, because this is a first coming together, isn't it? It's not a long-term relationship here. It's the start of a relationship. And so I think where I'm going to struggle here is maintaining that relationship with this deck going forward and making it a long-term relationship. So I need a balance between the two cards. It's offering me that balance. It's helping me to grow by balancing my knowledge, you know, knowing that sometimes I'm at the bottom of the wave and sometimes I'm riding high, but it comes and it goes, you know, it's peaks and troughs, isn't it? I think with this deck, it's not going to be plain sailing. But I think it's going to be okay though. It's positive reading here. We've got one major, we've got one pentacle, so we're grounded, and we've got 2 cups. So it's something I could possibly fall in love with. I don't see, there's no conflict here, there's no mental anguish with this deck. It's all going to be about the feels, grounding those emotions in reality and blending the two. So that's my deck interview. Now then, let's have a message for the day. Let's see if I can, see if I can get along with it on its own terms then, like the 2 of Cups is asking me to. So let's have a message for today. Oh, 3 card spread. So what do I need to be aware of today? I've got the 7 of Pentacles. I kept the hoe in the potato plant. I'm drawn to actually reading this as a Rider-Waite-Smith, and that would be detrimental to my studies, so I'm not going to read it that way. How to blend the 2. Okay, so I need to be aware of the 7 of Pentacles. Why? Because the Queen of Wands has told me to. Well, what does the Queen of Wands want me to know then in this regard? Strength. Okay, so the Queen of Wands is looking at the lion. The gaze is down here. We've got a cat and we've got a lion. And we've got very grounded energy, but it's a 7, which is an odd number. And odd numbers in the Marseilles are more negative than even numbers. Right, I'm going to be a bit open here because this is a personal reading, but in about, where are we at? 20 to 4, at 6 o'clock, so just over 2 hours time, I'm having a long scan. And if I was worried there was anything wrong with my lungs, I think I don't need to worry. I think it's going to be okay. And there's a choice really with the 7 of Pentacles and the Rider-Waite-Smith. Do we carry on with what isn't working? Is this plant actually dying? We've got a lot of heat outside, not a lot of water. And we need water, don't we, for a plant to grow. And here we've got 2 fire cards. A lot of fire energy here. A lot of heat, which is making this wither. And they're turning their back on the 7 of Pentacles. And to me, they're saying it's time to ignore this energy. This energy isn't working. And to go forward and get strong in health, because I'm seeing this is a health reading actually, then I need to use my energy of fire and passion going forward to flourish. I mean, we've got flowers here, we've got the sunflower, everything's flourishing in these cards. We've got the inner strength of the cat and the intuition, so the strength of the lion, the intuition of the cat, and just go with intuition when I'm thinking about strengthening my health. All this greenery here, this growth is beautiful, whereas here it's withering. So what I've been doing in the past isn't working. I need to find a new way forward with force. We've got the baton, we've got this club. We're going to really go at this health issue with force and strength. The name for strength in the Marseilles is La Force. So use the force of will and my intuition for my health to flourish today. Don't make silly choices that are detrimental to my health. Now, just looking at this reading the way I've read that, to me, I'm not reading it the way I would read a Rider-Waite-Smith straight off. I wouldn't read it that way. I would go, okay, the Queen of Wands is very sexual, blah, blah, blah. It would be a different reading. And so that's proving to me I have got hope of being able to read with the Marseilles deck if I practice with this one, which is brilliant, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to pack up now and have something to eat before I go for the scan. So thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for being here, and until the next video, bye friends, bye.